carve out your future on the long road ahead. As you begin your journey into the real world, let me wish you all great success and happiness every step of the way in your personal and professional life. May I now request our Pro-Chancellor, Shrimati Shobhana Bhartiya, to please address the gathering.
Honorable Minister of State for Industry and Commerce, Dr. Purandeshwari, members of the Board of Governor, Mrs. Manjushri Khaitan, Professor Chris Ramchandran, Professor V.S. Rao, Professor Jain, Professor Anand, students, distinguished guests. At the very outset, let me also add my own very warm welcome and thanks to Dr. Purandeshwari for being with us here today. We are indeed very honored that you could take the time off and join us. I can say without hesitation that when I was in Parliament, in the Rajya Sabha, I had a chance to observe Dr. Purandeshwari. And without hesitation, she was one of the most diligent and efficient ministers that we've had. And this was the opinion not only of her colleagues, but also that of the opposition. She has also held the charge of HRD and therefore has a lot of domain knowledge on education, and we look forward to hearing your views in a short while. Friends, this is a very emotional moment for me. The Hyderabad campus of BITS Pilani is the dream project of my father, late Dr. K.K. Birla. It was his wish that the campus must begin operations by August 2008 to keep the promise he had made at the time of the inauguration. My father passed away on August 30th that year, but not before he had redeemed that pledge. The Hyderabad campus came to life the very same day. As many of you are aware, BITS Pilani is a deemed university promoted by Padma Vibhushan late Shri G.D. Birla to help realize Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's vision of harnessing science and technology for the task of nation building. As BITS Pilani enters its golden jubilee year as a university, that vision is still relevant because the task of nation building is an ongoing one. Almost 2/3 of Indians are young, under the age of 35. Studies by the IMF and other organizations and individuals show that a significant part of the growth surge that India has experienced over the last 2 decades can be attributed to this demographic group, an easy payout of the demographic dividend that has been predicted for a long time. But recent studies show that many of the millions of young Indians entering the workforce every year do not have the skills required by the industry. Speaking on the issue, the Prime Minister had told a Labour conference last year, and I quote, that the rapid growth of the Indian economy since 2004 has clearly brought out the shortcomings of our skill development process. Today, availability of skills is possibly the single most important constraint to rapid industrial growth, unquote. Last year, a study by a global consultancy firm estimated that 80% of young people entering the workforce do not have any kind of training, and a 2011 survey done by NASSCOM pointed out that 75% of Indians technical graduates do not have employable skills. No wonder our outsourcing industry invests about 1 billion every year on training these graduates for jobs. And I'm not talking only about technical skills and an aptitude for problem solving. Many job aspirants, sadly, also lack soft skills, like proficiency in written and oral communications, interpersonal etiquette, and the ability to fit into a multicultural environment, which are sine qua non for success in today's corporate setting. This is worrying because the demographic dividend was projected to add about 2 percentage points to India's per capita annual GDP growth rate. That is why, in addition to the rigorous educational curriculum at BITS, we also stress the development of soft skills to help students deal better with the nuances of corporate life. Unfortunately, a vast majority of Indian youth do not have access to such mentoring. But for India to reap the full benefits of the demographic dividend, which contributed significantly to the East Asian miracle of the 1970s, we will have to provide sound all-around education to our youth. To ensure that people entering the workforce have employable skills, we must put in place policies that enable our institutions of higher learning to become a feeder service for the employment market. For this, industry and higher educational institutions have to work together to develop, nurture, and strengthen new and existing linkages. Systems have to be put in place for students to compulsorily work on live projects as interns in industry, in academia, and in developmental sector to make it easier for them to enter the job market. Experiential learning is indeed the best teacher. Keeping this in mind, BITS has established strong linkages with industry. We have 300 companies through our practice school. Students spend 7.5 months in industry, giving them a chance to learn firsthand how to use their knowledge in the real world. BITS also offers a work-integrated learning program for working professionals. Currently, there are over 40 active research projects at the institution, most of them backed by prominent funding agencies. These projects have sponsorships of rupees 23 crores. We have also established a technology business incubator at Hyderabad with a grant of 5 crores from the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. Such business incubators already exist at the Pilani and Goa campuses. If we, as Indians, look back at the decades gone by, we can take satisfaction from the fact that we've come a long way from where we started. But if we look sideways and ahead at our peer group of nations and at the developed countries, the perspective will change. We'll realize that we still have a very long way to go. India has about 33,000 colleges and 621 universities, but the gross enrollment ratio is a poor 18.8%. In Malaysia, the figure is 40%, and in Brazil and China, it's 26% each. The Human Resource Development Ministry has estimated that we need 20,000 more colleges and 1,500 more universities in order to be able to provide post-school education to all students who complete school. There can be no two ways about it. We need to equip our youth with the skills that they will need to give themselves and the nation a good future. For this, we need many more institutions like BITS. Sadly, policy hurdles are coming in the way of private investments in higher education. The government must urgently look into this issue and remove the bottlenecks that are denying our youth the chance of a better, more productive and fulfilling life. The center and some states have taken several initiatives to enhance and augment skill development in India, but a lot more still needs to be done. Currently, we spend about 3% of our GDP on education, compared to 4% in China and 5.6% in the US. Given the much bigger GDPs of these countries, they spend more than India in absolute terms on education, although India has many more young people than either China or the US. Moreover, there are leakages in the system, and it is fair to say that we do not get full bang for our buck. Recently, the Department of Science and Technology also reduced grants for R&D to private institutions and universities. This, I feel, is a step back when the crying need of the hour is to move forward with higher allocations for education. I would like to appeal to the government through our Honorable Minister sitting here to increase the budget for higher education to the levels commensurate with our requirement and also monitor the expenditure more closely to ensure the desired outcomes. BITS, fortunately, has little to complain about on these counts. It has consistently been ranked number 1 among private engineering institutions and among the top 6 to 8 engineering institutions, together with some IITs. It has also all along played an important role in imparting specialized skills to India's youth, thus taking forward the vision of nation building with which it was established. Now we are looking ahead. After taking over as Chancellor in 2008, Mr. Kumar Mangalam Birla initiated the Vision 2020 project, which I'm happy to inform you is on track to making BITS one of Asia's leading universities. In some ways, we are already closer to our goal. A BITS degree has always been highly coveted by students. Look at the numbers. This year, 1,44,000 aspirants took BITSAT for 2,200 seats available, translating it to an acceptance rate of 1:65. That means, on average, only 1 out of every 65 students who sat for the BITS admission test got in. That is comparable to the IITs. It also means that it is more difficult to get into BITS than it is to gain admission into a A-grade Western university. Let me come to those passing out this year. To all the students, Convocation-2013, 613 students are graduating from BITS Pilani, Hyderabad campus. This includes 561 first degree, 48 higher degree, and 4 PhD students. To the class of 2013, I congratulate each one of you. An exciting world full of challenges and opportunities lie ahead. I'm sure you'll be able to make us proud, as our alumni have done over the decades, and I wish all of you the very best for your future. And lastly, I would like to once again thank the Vice Chancellor and the faculty at BITS Hyderabad who have made this possible. Thank you.
May I request Shrimati Manjushri Ketan, Member Board of Governors of BITS Pilani, to please address the group.
Honorable Union Minister of State for Commerce and Industry, Dr. Purendeshwari, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to be present here for the convocation of BITS Pilani, Hyderabad campus. My grandfather, late Shri Ghanshyam Das Birla, had a vision of an independent India that was self-sufficient in the knowledge, wealth of its citizens. He substantiated this vision by establishing BITS in our hometown Pilani in Rajasthan. He brought together some of India's best minds from within and outside the country to create a highly competent teaching fraternity. This has provided our young men and women the opportunity to hold their head and the nation's head high on the global stage. My uncle, late Krishna Kumar Birla, had shared the same vision. He desired to take the same education experience to the growing numbers of our nation's young. Thus came about the campuses in Hyderabad, Goa, and Dubai. My nephew, Mr. Kumar Mangalam Birla, continues to share the same vision and is modernizing and expanding the facilities. I thank the entire BITS community and specifically the graduating class for fulfilling their vision and making this institute an intellectual elite. On behalf of the Board of Governors, I congratulate all graduating students. Years of effort and application have brought you to this stage in your lives. You are the pride of your family, your friends, and your entire community. Take this moment to be truly proud of yourselves. Yet, much lies ahead. Wonderful and fulfilling prospects that will be created and molded by your own minds and bodies. Today signifies the culmination of your journey towards gathering knowledge and building a base. Many have helped you along this journey, and to them I am thankful to their devotion for the young. This is only but a beginning of the journey of the life that lies ahead. This journey will be fraught with challenges. I recommend that you continue your life journey with the same dedication that you have displayed thus far. Remember always that knowledge is not success and does not by itself enrich our lives. Learning is a lifelong process that happens and needs to happen every day of your lives. And it is the relevancy of our knowledge and what we do with the knowledge which